Hello everybody, welcome back. Frigid here as always, with yet more Limbus company. Come on. What did I say? 10 turns, okay. Yeah, that's right. I was, had the lineup changed up a bit because of some, yeah. Dude, what the heck? Doing some excavation. I ain't worried. Hmm? That would do it. That's what I thought. Hmm? Nani? It kind of makes me think that there's going to be a Hey Show Pack identity for each member of, for each of the sinners. Or at least the ones that, well, all of them except Ishmael, Honglu, obviously. Good about Marisol, because Sinclair got one too, so. Actually, not just Sinclair, he's saying as well. Use it. I figured using it would be a bigger benefit than using his counterattack. He seems to always call Faust for that. Sure, her Hey Show Pack identity is OP, but maybe try changing it up a bit, Honglu. cherry tap.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼구나. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍어는 그제야 알게 되겠지. 이 홍로가 무얼 바꾸었는지를.
Hmm? Oh yeah. Derp.
사냥감인가? 몸이 끓어오르는군.
No. Oh, yes. Darn bots.
불가
시비수에게 나왔다.
막아내지 못해.
이 앞에 숨쉬는 자 누구 하나 살려보내. 대무릎 꿇고 한 놈이 푸름을 틔울 수
That's one down.
이거리면 충분해. 너한텐 아직 멀겠지만.
사요. 지금 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나. 거절 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
이제 깨치시겠.
몸으로 보여주지.
I didn't know he could combo more than once per round.
이거리면 충분해. 너한텐 아직 멀겠지만.
마음 놓고 열어졌지. 그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
Flawless victory. Okay, maybe not victory. Not yet, anyway.
일기당천. 목을 떨궈주마. 이건 예상 못했나봐.
Hmm. Wonder I didn't take. One-sided counter. Okay, then. Come on!
일기당천.
바로 이제 깨우치시게. 이제 깨우치시게.
넘고 무수히 넘고 얼마든지 쏟고 제쳐라. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나. 겹겹의 중문 뚫어보이겠어.
불가
Dogpile him.
막아내지 못하리.
넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나. 또 한 줄 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍호는 그제야 알게 되겠지. 이 홍로가 무엇을 바꾸었지를.
Next.
카니발 타임.
But I thought it was just the one fixer like that was on this train.
일기당천.
Minimize the damage.
저겠지. 잘 생각해보라고. 누구 하나 삶으로 꿰뚫어. 저 해충들을
비거리는
구현해라.
충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
사요. 징수.
비거리는 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
혈염도 바로.
On self. Oof. That could be bad. Okay, so this one's got some rather hard-hitting attacks. What does that do? If this unit is defeated in an encounter, apply assist to the subsequently substituting identity. The fastest backup unit in the deployment order. Next turn, chain battles. If this unit's backup unit has retreated, activate the following. Okay. Okay, so basically that's why Don Quixote got substituted in.
날개를 펼치고 활동을 켜보라. 바람 들어오는데요. 짓밟아라. 물론고 거저 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
놀랐어?
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
Nice. Not the biggest hit I've seen with that skill, but that was a big hit.
일기당천.
깨우치시게.
바람 불어오는 짓밟아라. 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
이 거리는 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
깔끔하게 몰았군.
Something caught my attention with the corner of my eye after another round of brutal combat. What's this now? Around the final car adjacent to the fake car, we discovered that odd box with the T Corp logo on it. Ah, 'tis the emblem of T Corp. It appears that the wall covering it was, in the fierceness of our battle, broken. Didn't that chief executive guy, Herbert, right? Didn't he offhandedly mention something about partnering with other wings? I guess they were in cahoots with W Corp too. Such collaborations are not limited to T Corp. It's often the case that a wing may work with another. It is only on rare occasions that they urgently request the assistance of less significant, lesser-known corporations, such as our own Limbus company. The choice appears to be quite irregular. Sounds like W Corp's heydays are long behind them. Just like this wall that's falling apart, revealing what's behind it. Oh, speaking of falling apart, this room sure got messed up, huh? It was difficult for me to ignore how Rhodia hurriedly swerved to a different subject as though she'd made a mistake. Even the tone of her voice shifted like she was catching herself. The various destroyed prosthetic parts covered in human remains indicate that this train car was boarded by several prosthetic-equipped fixers. Can't think about that right now. Let's deal with the task at hand first. Maybe these people are from the same office as that guy we met at the platform. Remember? He said he was warped over to T Corp on an expedition. Look, it's almost like they're all wearing standardized sets of prosthetics. Same make, same model, everything. I believe I have read articles stating that certain offices do exclusively hire fixers with prosthetics. Wait, we were walking through the bloody train car when we suddenly heard Sinclair's voice crack as though he saw something awful. Fine, he is the one we encountered at the platform! this is the fixer who suddenly started venting at us. And he said something about going to T-Corp on an expedition failing. They brought a whole train car full of fixers for this contract. I guess he wasn't exaggerating by calling it an expedition. There are over a dozen broken arms strewn about. They must have fought valiantly by replacing their broken arms with backup arms, perchance. Quite the strategy. Makes sense. That would explain all those broken prosthetic arms and legs in this car. Executive Manager, this is likely an aftermath of a battle between the Fixers and the Blood Bags. There were many similar cases during the war. Those using prosthetics would simply let their bodies be destroyed in battle because they considered them to be disposable as long as their wallets would permit. Of course, the blanket and the lack of self-preservation often led them to early graves. Maybe that's true. I see. There are multiple possible interpretations depending on one's perspective, despite the fact that there's but a single scene. I'll remember both of your inputs. That's a good attitude to have. It plays with attitudes like yours often made it to the end of the war. Yes, well, good for them. Faust answers Otis in an uncharacteristically snappy manner. Signs of fatigue were creeping into her pensive expression. You alright, Faust? Rare to see any actual expression from her. I was starting to get worried. I am physically unharmed, yet... yes, I am alright. However, I do not enjoy this circumstance which we find ourselves in. It is as though I am casting nets to nowhere, we're lost and isolated in a blind sea. I could usually complete these deductions within moments after establishing a few basic cross-references between the accessible information. Her voice was such a whisper that for the second part of her sentence that even I could barely hear what she was saying. Ah, I know what you mean. I feel like you're completely lost, obsessed with casting net after net over the black, rippleless lake in desperate hopes that one of them might pull in something we could eat. No way to tell where we are. No way to tell if there's even anything to eat under that glassy water surface. Grasping at the straws, you know? The sense if I'm mired in is not unlike your own. It's like lying my back over an unseen grave. A reflection of radiance upon my eyes, the sanguine scent hanging from the tip of my olfactory tells me not of the forging path. It seemed that Ishmael and Yiseng picked up on the first part of her sentence, however. They walked up to her and shared a few words of consolation. By the way, I don't ever recall you talking like that, Faust. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's something different about you today. Today, somehow, that is... No, I mean, I don't hate it. I'm actually glad to learn that you had a softer side. This unseen side of yours. It's unfamiliar, yet quite fresh. Is that so? Faust's reply was curt. She closed her eyes. As per the information provided by the pamphlet at the platform, it is likely that this train is composed of 12 passenger cars and 1 freight car. Because we're on the 11th car at the moment, that leaves a single car between us and the freight car in which Mephistopheles is secured. Which means that there is a high likelihood that we'll soon encounter the blood fiend responsible for the creation of the blood bags aboard this train. Just beyond that door. Well, how impressive could it be if its fighters are this weak? We practically smashed through that entire hold up problem. Different, more accurate interpretation would be to say that being capable of commanding a force as large as the blood bags we have defeated should be considered a high-risk entity. Although this is not common knowledge, there's a subcategory of fixers called blood fiend hunters who specialize in, yes, hunting blood fiends. Assuming that information is true, it can be inferred that blood fiends are difficult foes that require certain expertise to defeat. Now that I'm thinking about it, if blood bags are like mindless thralls to blood fiends, then they're kind of like the private army, right? A being of power could create a force of their own without concern for lord morale or desertion. Wartime or not, they will always make for formidable foes. As soon as each exchange various opinions with one another, possible strategies, estimations of the blood fiend's strength, and all of a sudden... Fire this indecisive idleness! Our quest is to defeat the villain who hath brought such pain and misery upon this train, is it not? It may be vaporizing the lifeblood of the innocent as we speak. Mighty or feeble, I care not. I swear upon my honor that I shall smite this foe and let my hand of justice be the judge of their fate. Let us hasten now. Don Quixote's sudden outburst immediately put a stop to the chatter. She's not wrong. Besides, you have to deal with the blood fiend to complete our contract. That opened the door leading to the final car of this train.
저번에 약속한 거 안 잊었지, 죽은? 그 외에 임무를 성공적으로 100번만 수행하면 죽은? 설마 소유권을 벌써 다 쓴 거야? 말도 안 돼. 이건 약속이랑 다르잖아.
Halfway there.
카니발 타임.
Anyway, this level calls for a module. This room. What is with that look on thy... What is with that look on thy faces? Our standards to the audience of the prince. Where are thy obsequious smile? Where are thy obsequious smiles? He must be the bloodfiend who caused this outbreak. He's our target. Fall to thy knees and grovel before royalty. Who the hell are you to make those demands? I shall impart this upon thee only once, so listen well. Thou mayest address me as Prince Cassetti, the sixth kindred, or kindred of the sixth generation, the rightful prince and refuge from his family. Art thou the villain who hath brought such destruction and massacre upon this vessel? Thou art a chatty one so rudely before your prince, yet I am feeling generous, for I am quite sated at the moment. As thou must have seen on thy journey here, this place is a hall of banquet for a feast most majestic. No matter how many blood bags I create, no matter how much I devour them, the humans just won't stop coming. I only enjoy what was cast into my maw. He dons a mask for the purpose of merrymaking. If we're really going to exchange pleasantries, why don't you take that mask off? Or are you unfamiliar with the basic etiquette? Oh, this mask won't come off. Can't take it off. Shouldn't take it off. There's no prince without the mask. We're so ugly behind the mask. So we all decided to hide how repulsive we've become. But once I've drunk your blood full, then it'll go back to how it used to be. Only then can I unmask myself. You stitched that mask to your face skin. Not a half bad job. Wait, it's actually stitched there? Of course it's excellent. Haha! Because this mask is crafted by none other than the great and eminent barber, whose name I dare not even speak. But it hurts so much. No, I'm smiling. Look how hard I'm smiling and laughing. Yes! I am the prince! That's what I am! He's a bloody loon, isn't it? Alright, done with the giggles then. Get ready for the beat of your life. I enjoy things like you and your friends. Don't cry, bawling and bowing and sniveling on the ground for your lives. Lunge at me instead, The aggression, the boiling blood. Oh, how I love the fire. What are you, daft? Look around. Not 13 of us, only one of you. Do not let your guard down, Heathcliff. This entity has managed to turn countless passengers of this train into his blood bags. I didn't let my guard down. But we blasted through so many blood bags, we couldn't even keep count, didn't we? Couldn't even keep count? Oh no, but the count is so important. I have to keep count of our visitors. Oh yes, of course. I do want to keep count of our dearest visitors. Yes, sir, I do. You have no idea how powerful I am, and I shall not relinquish my throne to thee from this budding kingdom. All I have to do is sit here and do nothing, and the blood bags present themselves before me. There's no paradise like this out there. You have no idea what it did to create this place. Oh, how elated my forebearer kindred would be, should they be here to witness what I have created. This cornucopia of abundance, this pleasure, oh, this freedom. But this kingdom is mine. I made it. I'm not giving it away. Nope. This is rather curious. It appears that this bloodfiend leaves it in this car only on rare occasions. Yet we have seen signs of his insidious influence throughout every car we have visited so far. Then what he meant about how the blood bags present themselves before him has to be... Hold on a minute! Yeah. figure suddenly and frantically charged into this car. It was Sasha, the fixer we ran into in one of the earlier cars. Cassetti shrinks into his throne at the sudden burst, terror apparent in his face. Ah, it is thee! By the... Hast thou truly journeyed here to assist us in our quest? Lo, that villain is the bloodfiend responsible for the tragedies that have transpired aboard this train! Help us slay that cur and eventually lead the passengers thou hast protected thus far out of his train! Blood fiends. What if there was more than a single blood fiend on board, and still capable of rational thought? Damn, you actually made it all the way back here? I guess the wings don't give out contracts to just anyone. I used to fight to my damnedest, too. Till I was the last one standing. What's she talking about? But where did that leave me? In the end, I stood alone with nothing but a single one of these 4 arms left. Kind of funny how the perspective on life can just completely flip when you're really, really in the shit. I think my last thoughts were, man, I don't want to die. So I fell on my knees and pleaded. I told him that, Don Quixote, watch out! I'd do anything to live. Blood rapidly crystallized around Sasha like a suit of armor as she swung her great sword at the sinners, striking them even before Faust finished her sentence. Ah! What did I say? I commanded you to give me a warning before jumping in like that. Don't you know how loud your stupid arms are? I thought the fairly had come for me. I'm sorry, Lord Cassetti. Allow me to introduce my kindred to thee, to be the first of many since my escape, for the kingdom I intend to build. My kindred, my loyal squire, you shall be at my side as I build a dynasty of my own, my family. Lord Cassetti, I had intended to select the more powerful of the bunch to send to this car, as you have commanded me, but the humans in my car were all weaklings, so I present before you this group from the first-class car. Kindred. Are you even aware of the exact nature of a kindred? Nah, but I can tell you this. When I accepted my lord's blood into my veins, it was as though I was reborn. I see. A blood fiend's kindred is like a sub-entity of the blood fiend, similar in concept to sub-entities created by distortions or abnormalities. It must have been desperation that drove you to accept that proposition without hesitation, despite the lack of relevant information. Maybe. That's probably what was going through my head before I became a kindred. Thou hast been in cohorts with this villain, and with this villain all this time, as his lackey? Even ere then, when we first laid our eyes upon thee. Lady, you have no idea how much I freaked out when one of you asked me something about red eyes. Not that it would have mattered if you did suspect me, though, since my red eye is just a prosthetic. Then, the passengers who were under that protection. Haven't I told you that the count matters? The longer the line, the better. Shh. Dozens of blood bags began shambling into the room from behind Sasha. The smaller one among them stood out to me. My mind immediately snapped to the child who grabbed Don Quixote's coattails. I knew that the passengers were dead the moment we realized Sasha was a blood fiend. But this... I really hoped that I wouldn't have to face this reality. Not like this. There was a child. Yep, little Brent wanted to be a fixer if she got to grow up. Good thing she won't, though. I can tell you on good authority that living as a bloodbag is way better than the drudgery that is the life of a fixer. Believe me, I'd know. Hold thy vile tongue! Dreaming of becoming a famous, respected fixer and an actor of justice? It's all just a stupid pipe dream that always ends in crushing disappointment, or a really, really early grave. Silence! Silence! Don Quixote did not give Sasha time to finish her sentence. She was already charging full speed at her with her lance drawn. Got another rave going.
목을 콱 물어버리자고.
해무로 꿰뚫어라. 저
이
해충들을
거리를
보여내.
충분히 너한텐 아직 멀겠지만.
Probably gonna be multiple waves. Hmm?
이런 예상보다 깔끔하게 물었군. 자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
That should all do it.
물 넘고 꺾고 제쳐라. 혈압도 바로.
좀 수상해.
Get one fragile and damage up. Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
일기당천.
Ah! Unbelievable. My first kindred to be created without their authorization. Is this bumbling fool? I pray for forgiveness, my parents. Be gone from my sight. At least thou hast brought me blood bags for sustenance. And it must be the responsibility of a parent to clean up the mess of his child. What a load of crap. With that cassette, he reached out toward the pile of blood bags on the ground and... Neat trick. Oh, what abundance! I had nearly forgotten this sensation. An armor-hardened blood materialized over the blood fiend's body. His sheer aggression and hatred was palpable enough to make our skin crawl. It appears that he has empowered himself by reaping their blood. Though my power is yet to fully return, this magnificent arm is quite befitting of a parade for the prince who hath become a king. Wouldst thou agree? Yes, sir. Yes, you do. Of course you do. Challenge me now, O rebels. Challenge thy king. Dude, your skills are pathetic. Some king you are.
일기당천.
Okay, target is 4 plus bleed, clash power plus 1, deal plus 5% for every bleed count on the target.
불렀어, 죽은? 필요한 일 있으면 언제든지 말해.
That explains a bit.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
It's not every day I get to slap around a vampire. Take sentences you did not expect to hear for 1,000, Alex. Lose value every time this unit loses 5% HP. On hit, heal 1% of this unit's HP. No biggie.
일기당천.
Rock beats scissors. And Heisho Pack beats Blood Fiend. That ended the round? There we go. That'll work. Oh? How fortuitous! But, how the heck did that happen?
한화 휴지. 개인의 골몰지 마시오. 전장에 전념하시오.
Oh! 5+ line breaker. That'll work.
목을 콱 물어버리자.
목을 떨궈주마.
This dude ain't a blood fiend, he's a punching bag.
넘고 제쳐라. 겹겹의 주문 뚫어보이겠어.
Okay, that could be a problem. Not enough lust, huh? That'll work!
목을 콱 물어버리자.
모험하군.
Who the heck does this guy think he is? Karn the Betrayer? Sorry, but you ain't the blood god, so there'll be no blood for you.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
이 거리는 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
Oh dear, that won't do. Man, why did she keep getting all that offense level up? I'm not complaining. Okay, maybe I am complaining because I want to know how to do that intentionally.
목을 콱 물어버리자.
Just a little more and he'll be staggered.
어머, 놀랐어?
Or maybe just dead. The heck? I don't know, how's that for a finish?
목을
Finish him!
발로
That hurts! Yes, I love your boiling human blood, but this is too painful. This guy keeps regenerating, no matter how many times you tear him to pieces. I don't know if we can... The mental fatigue finally got to Gregor and Sinclair, who collapsed to the ground. The strange environment of warp trains was proving to be a significant help to the Blood Fiend's regenerative ability. The battle continued much longer than our scuffles at the K-Corp border checkpoint, or our struggle against the endless hordes of the dead at the base of Wuthering Heights. The Sinners had all grown much stronger since then, but they were reaching a breaking point. Don Quixote continues to wildly pummel the Blood Fiend with her lance, breaking, stabbing, and crushing him every time a bloody part regenerated. I am so hungry. Ridiculous! Thy hunger is no justification for this massacre thou hast wrought. Shut up, you don't understand. You don't know how awful it is to survive for 200 years on that disgusting, horrible... No! I don't even want to think about it. Shut up. Be quiet. No, I'm sorry. I'll be good. Please let me have just a sip. Just the smallest sip. Please. Huh. That was an odd sudden change in attitude. It won't matter how many times you stab me. I shan't stop until all of thy flesh and bone and organs are crushed into a viscous, shapeless mush, never to become whole again. But the Blood Fiend's regeneration is so powerful that he's recovering as fast as Don Quixote's destroying him. It's regenerated at an insane rate. I can't... My kindred, my child, I have given thee new life, invited thee to this banquet. So do thy responsibilities. The blessings of a parent must be repaid, no? What can I do? Find their weakness, break their anger, make them kneel and grovel before me in desperation, just as you had. Wait, I think I've got an idea. Sasha began looking around wildly, surprised by Cassetti's sudden command. Is that the way they fight? It reminds me of a lot of the way we prosthetic users using fixers fight. Just as prosthetic users slowly lose their sense of self-preservation, their limbs becoming no more important than tools to be replaced. These idiots act with such abandon as if they have multiple lives to burn through. With nothing to protect, they throw themselves wildly into battle like moths to a flame. And, forget to look out after what's really important, like this little thing. With one of her remaining arms, Sasha picked up the master card key that Faust showed her in one of the previous cars. Don Quixote, stop her now! Oh, my parent, I offer this gift to you. Gah! Don Quixote immediately leaped at the fixer, but one of her arms struck her away with great force. Ishmael and Marisol, who had been holding Cassetti down, were no match for his strength without Don Quixote's fury. The Blood Fiend threw them both to the side and grabbed the key card. This is the key to the first-class cars, my lord. With this, go your army of blood bags, to bring glory to the kingdom. No. Cassetti examines the master key card with clear interest. Without that key card, we'll be trapped inside this train for thousands of years until it reaches its destination. Dante, I believe that I have tried my utmost to overcome this adversity. Without access to Faust's knowledge and intelligence, however, without loss of the master key card, the uncertainty of this circumstance has greatly exacerbated. At the origin of this plight, Faust took a deep breath, as if she was about to take a deep dive into the source of this trouble. It must be my over-reliance on Faust. What I can tell, Faust has always been operating based on information she received from Faust. So a situation like this, where she has to make decisions on her own, has to be unfamiliar to her. But Faust is an admirable sinner, with or without Faust. I've been thinking the same thing about myself, actually. I might have been relying too much on that perfect Faust. But even without Faust, you still give us good directions to follow after analyzing the information we brought you. Maybe uncertainty itself doesn't always have to be a problem for us. Remember? Thus the lack of plan itself becomes the plan. You said it yourself. I see. Indeed, among many, I am a Faust that believes in uncertainty. Our loss of the master key card is but one of innumerable uncertain variables in the equation. The constant is, however, that the Blood Fiend is just as desperate as we are. Thus the only option that remains at present is to compromise. You there. Looks like thou art the one who's been regenerating your friends. Stop. Stop doing that, alright? Don't heal a single one of them, or I'll smash your precious key to pieces. Manager Esquire! Compromise? To compromise with a villain as vile as that cur! I didn't have the time to regenerate Don Quixote's severe injuries just yet. The rest of the sinners were already unconscious. The only sinner who could still move and talk normally was Faust, whom I just rewound the clock for. Yeah, let's do that. Very well. Then, Cassetti, why don't we move this conversation to a different location? Only I will accompany Dante to this negotiation. I will make my intentions clear now. Dante and I will not attack you there. There is no doubt in my mind that Cassetti must be completely exhausted by the unending barrage of attacks from Don Quixote and the sinners. Faust's suggestion that we move this conversation to a different place without the sinners must have been a sweet one. Just you two, huh? Yes, the freight car is immediately adjacent to this one. That is where we will further discuss what we each have to offer one another. That clock must be thy monarch, then. Thou art one of the retainers? Correct. Very well. This will be a royal debate, then. It is only right that a royalty talks to no one else but the one who is his equal. Manager Esquire. We'll be back in a minute, Don Quixote. Thus we left the incapacitated sinners and Don Quixote, who watched on with hollow, despondent eyes as we walked away. We carefully made our way to the freight car. So, Faust, why are you doing this in the freight car again? Dante, this will be my first attempt at a gamble. What? With that, the door closed shut behind us.
저번에 약속한 거 안 잊었지, 죽은? 그 외에 임무를 성공적으로 100번만 수행하면 죽은? 설마 소유권을 벌써 다 쓴 거야? 말도 안 돼. 이건 약속이랑 다르잖아.
So this passageway leads straight into Mephistopheles? This is where it all started. This stupid bus woke me from my slumber. If only this bus hadn't completely filled up the freight car. I wasn't planning to start the parade so soon, or create a kindred here. Dante. Connection has been restored. Connection? The suddenness of her statement briefly knocked me off my train of thought. Looked at her, cocked my head in confusion. She replied with an even quieter whisper without looking away from the Blood Fiend. Lord Mephistopheles has re-established my connection to Faust. Did you know that this would work? Yeah. No, and as I've stated before, this was a pure, incalculable gamble based on my own uncertain hypothesis. This success helps me somewhat comprehend Miss Rhodia's fascination with gambling. A faint smile appeared on Faust's lips for a moment before fading. Now that the connection has been re-established, I would like to make a complaint against the Fausts and the Jeshel Shaft management regarding the fact that they neglected to list the information pertaining to the loss of connection within the interiors of the warp trains. However, finding a solution to this situation takes precedence. I have much reason to believe that their omission was done on purpose, but I hope such is not the case. Faust gently advanced toward the Blood Fiend. Let us discuss the details of our compromise. What are you willing to accept in return for the Master Keycard? If thou wert just anyone, I would have wished to turn thee all into blood bags and drink every last drop of thy blood. Thou art unlike a common person. My wish is to maintain the secrecy in this kingdom of mine, the secrecy of this kingdom of mine for as long as possible, and thine wish is to leave this place, right? Once I relinquish to thee this keycard, and once thou returnest to your first-class seats, we'll live here happily, even ever after, like nothing happened. And when the train gets there, you get off the train. Everything goes back to the way they're supposed to be. How's that for a deal? Like nothing happened. Faust, what about the job we were contracted to do in the first place? Our memories and any signs of battle will be entirely erased upon arrival. We'll have no way to relay our news, whether one of success or failure. If we had the means to defeat him, then at least W Corp would inform us that our contract was successful after the fact. However, this current scenario will leave us with nothing to show for it, not even the smallest hint, and the contract will end in failure. However, what takes precedence over the contract is that you and the sinner's psychological stability. It's not like we've always been successful, so that was something I could live with, but what about the other passengers of this train, and its future passengers? I remember the look on Don Quixote's face whenever he would come across these inevitable forms of injustice. Faust does not reply. The lack of reply was a reply all on its own. Are we going to have to let them die? Innocent lives will be lost, but we cannot prioritize their lives over our safety. That must be Faust's and the company's policy. And yet... I shan't allow this! Don Quixote! I thought her wounds were too severe for her to even crawl, let alone walk, but with sheer will she pushed herself through the pain to reach the freight car. I will not tolerate this! We cannot let this vile wretch live! Turn a blind eye to everything he's done! It's her. Again! What? You want to stay here for what is essentially an eternity within this train? I know the truth. Everything hinges on this key, doesn't it? As soon as I break this in half, you'll have to spend the eons inside this. I care not. I'd welcome the eons, should it mean eons of penance for thee. 'Tis much preferable to letting thy villainy go unanswered. Let this place be the site of that eternal judgment. Fast I grabbed Don Quixote. She'd normally be strong enough to wriggle free of our grips, but she'd already pushed herself beyond her limits merely by walking here. Faust! Unhand me! Thou mustn't let him live! Manager Esquire! Don Quixote, letting him destroy that key means you'll be condemning the sinners to thousands of years of torment. Then I shall fill the millennium with the tales of legend that I had read in the magazines. No time, however infinite, shall be too great to overcome should we endeavor as one. Certainly, you're aware that your suggestion is no solution at all, Don Quixote. Then there has to be another way, no? Thou art both possessors of great wisdom. Faust, Manager Esquire, is there truly no path in which we may bring justice to the villain and the sinners remain unharmed? The struggle begins to wane, but there's no acceptance. This was dejection. Wait, Don Quixote, no! The commotion, we failed to notice that the blood fiend had been quietly advancing at us. We let Don Quixote go at the last second, but we were a second too late. Oh, my dearest parrot, forgive my transgressions of creating another without thy sanction. Thou shalt become my next kindred. Cassetti screams incoherently as he leaps onto Don Quixote, piercing her neck with his fangs before we even had the chance to do anything. Oh, I did not expect this to be the solution. Faust, what do you mean, the solution? According to this information I had viewed in the past, and once again just now, it's... Dante, take cover behind me and remain absolutely still. And please, do note that the other sinners must never hear a word of what is about to happen. Oh. Don Quixote levitates slightly into the air, the strings on her shoes unraveling as they slip off her feet on their own. She looks on with bewilderment as her running shoes fall to the floor. I thought they were boots. And... Ah! Ah! Rocinante! I've always had this question swirling at the unfocused backstage of my mind. Why are we so protective of those running shoes, Don Quixote? Running shoes? Ah! Dost thou speak of our dear Rocinante? Yeah, those. I have battled through thick and thin, feast and famine with dear Rocinante, in sorrow and in joy, no matter the brutality of trials that hath struck me. It hath been a loyal steed by my side for however long it hath been in existence. She doesn't know when she got them? Ah, Major Esquire, wherefore hast thou not saluted Rocinante as well? This may be a rather auspicious occasion to do so. Nope, I think I'm good. Ah, be not so bashful. Go on ahead. Look, Stinky. Small girl is torturing TikTok with Stinky. Stinky they are not. Scuffed as they might appear, Rocinante is in pristine condition. Also, thou shalt not address me as a small girl. Evacuate, evacuate. Don Quixote, don't tell me you go to sleep wearing those running Rocinante. Oh ho! I have always been quite certain that someone so esteemed as thee, Major Esquire, would care to ask me how Rocinante fares. I didn't mention that this question was inspired by numerous eyewitness reports from other sinners who saw her wandering the halls in her pajamas and wearing Rocinante. Verily, Rocinante and I remain bound together, even in slumber. There shall be no separating the two of us. We are bound not by need nor want. We are simply bound together through plight and delight. Now that I think about it, every single identity of Don Quixote was also wearing those pair of running shoes, Rocinante. You ever taken them off? Take them off? Fie! Whatever dost thou mean? As in, detach Rocinante from my body? 'Tis a very odd insinuation thou makest. She looks at me with puzzled eyes, as though taking those pair of running shoes off was somehow an inconceivable idea. They were something much more than just her favorite pair of running shoes. Her odd attitude of treating something so far removed from common sense as something completely ordinary. What does Rocinante mean to Don Quixote? What even is that thing? An overwhelmingly powerful pressure suddenly explodes, radiating in all directions. As the metallic stench of blood suffocates the bus, filling every corner of it with its sickening horror. Then, darkness. No, that's impossible! In all-absorbing darkness, voices are only light. You are the second kindred! How did you... I should have felt your presence! I do think I saw a faint outline of an aura. I see a red aura and a long fur adornment of sorts. The shimmering aura, I think I saw red eyes. You have committed the sin of filial impiety, transgressor. I know that voice, but I also don't. I've never heard it in such a low, imposing tone before. It speaks toward the lesser being, the blood fiend, shriveled and kneeling, trembling, pathetic. Mercy, O venerated ancestor! I beg for the mercy of the second kindred. I beg for the mercy of the second kindred. I beg... Insolent world. God! Crimson droplets of blood slowly rises from the blood fiend's mouth before congealing and sealing his mouth shut. No language worming its way out of your maw shall be worth my ears. No. To commit the sin of filial impiety by attempting to travel against the bloodstream. To commit such abomination against your ancestor. I cannot well sanction your impudence of continued existence. Coagulate, then melt away. Cassetti's body begins liquefying into a slick stream of blood, his form curdling and crumbling, then dripping to the ground. Rapidly, yet ponderously, like that ice cream Don Quixote loved so much, melting away on the floor, heated under the sun. You. Don Quixote turned to look at me, who was still on the ground after being thrown by the shockwave. And with a cryptic look of pity, she uttered something. Indeed, you must be the promised timepiece. Something I couldn't quite understand. Rocinante, to me. Rocinante, I beseech you. I carefully reached out, grabbed her shoes, and slipped them onto her bare feet, one by one. Ah, one day. She gasped, stumbled, and slumped to the ground. What a twist! Sometime later. Can somebody explain what just happened in a way that makes sense? Knew that the sinners would all be shocked and confused. After all, when they, including Faust and Don Quixote, all came back to life after we round the clock, all that remained was the destroyed door to the freight car and the disgusting, obliterated remains of what was once Cassetti. Most personnel had lost their consciousness from the mental stress of the prolonged battle against the Blood Fiend. Whatever measure it was that the manager has taken, it can be said that it was appropriate. I guess so. Well, good work, everyone. However, the definition of most personnel excludes 3 individuals. Therefore, it would be most appropriate to direct any questions to them. Wait. Who are those 3? Faust, manager, and Don Quixote, who is still unconscious. Oh, really? The 3 of you? Wow, you were spot on. When did you even have the time to notice that? Oh boy. I have identified the 3 conscious individuals by analyzing their walking cadence and voices moments before my loss of consciousness. Right. So what's going on with the loss? Why is she still out cold? She appears to be in a state of deep slumber. As she is not at a risk of death, she'll be waking up soon. Remember everything, of course. Don Quixote's sudden transformation. How she practically erased the Blood Fiend and his kindred from the world without even moving a finger. But I also remember Faust's last words. Please, do note that the other sinners must never hear a word of what is about to happen. Don Quixote was unconscious, and Faust was answering every question with silence. It was only natural that their eyes would all fall on me. That's, you know... Wait, that reminds me. Where's the key card? Last I remember, it was in Cassetti's hands. He was in a far more presentable state than he was in before. Wait, so what about the key card he was holding, though? It has been half liquefied. The remains have melted with his finger bones. It appears to have become one with the middle phalanges. Wait. Oh. Oh no! Calm down! I said calm down! I really should have packed more cigarettes, huh? How about we force one of these doors open? The master keycard is not an absolutely necessary element to resolving this situation. What? How? It will require approximately 5 hours to formulate and proceed with an explanation in a manner that will allow the students to fully comprehend the exact how of this methodology. Therefore, it will be delivered to you in a digestible, summarized format. Oh, that was short-lived. She's acting all smug again. We can utilize the back door of the Mephistopheles. The steely confidence in her declaration is more than enough to win us all over. So we headed to the corridor past the back door, Don Quixote slung over one of our shoulders, and arrived at our destination. I can't not ask what happened after seeing the state you were all in. Sandy Pitter, Sandy Patter. Huh? Grains of sand and seashell-like things fell with every step the sinners took. Ask someone after me. To explicate, it can... Grains of sand roll about in my throat with every word spoken. Some time ago, Faust explained the simpler gist of this plan as we made our way to the back door. To put it simply, we will spend the time at a space disconnected from the train. The train should be arriving at its destination in approximately 10 seconds, going by the A-Corp time scale. All we must do is remain somewhere in our original dimension for that duration. And with that, Faust came to a sudden stop in the middle of one of the corridors. Wait, are you seriously gonna just open that door? With this many doors here? Are you sure that's the right one? Yes, this is the correct door. Its safety is completely ensured. Loss, at least tell us what's past that door. I did not bother verifying that particular information myself. It is necessary for future endeavors that I gain the experience of encountering something completely unexpected. What? Oi, wait! Faust did not wait for Heathcliff to finish his sentence before jerking the door wide open. Now, please enter through this door. With Faust's stern command, we quickly walked into a building that looked like a derelict, abandoned hospital of sorts. I think we walked into the middle of a sandstorm. Huh? Aren't we supposed to be indoors? How the heck is this even happening? I can't open my eyes. Do it. I got sand in my mouth. Wait, no way. Is this a sandstorm? Are we sitting inside a building? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sinners blurted out a colorful series of complaints trying to uncover themselves in the blasting sandstorm. Faust continued to count in that same indifferent rhythm before dragging us out of there, just as urgently as she had herded us in. So, managed to return safe and sound to the interiors of the warp train as it arrived at the P-Corp platforms. As the train was still getting cleaned up, that is. And within our bodies completely covered in sand. I thought we'd never make it. Whoa, are you guys okay? How do these passengers... We were so happy to be done with this whole ordeal that even the W Corp cleanup agents in the middle of a cleanup mission looked downright hospitable. We are employees of Limbus Company. We boarded the warp train at the behest of your employer. Oh, so you guys are the people that our captain told us about. They really let you guys keep your memories, huh? Oh, that reminds me. One of the employees must be sleeping inside the that hibernation pod over there. Oh, that. I've never seen it in action before. Thanks, let me go check. The hidden compartment behind the chair that the cleanup agent crawled into. Inside it was... Huh? There isn't anyone in here. Maybe we're looking at the wrong pod? This is the correct spot. That the disappearance of the individual who has entered this pod would indicate. I guess these folks aren't all there in the head either. Maybe you guys are just mistaken? I doubt that. Yes, we must have suffered a momentary collective hallucination caused by fatigue. Very well then, we will see ourselves out. Faust cut the conversation short before the other sinners began asking too many questions. Now that I became intimately familiar with the meaning of that gesture, I followed her to the outside without another word. Have we arrived? Why isn't Shine Loss had enough nap yet? I see. I'll hear the details of the incident on the bus once we're traveling again. Understood. Any and all relevant reports will be sent to W Corp via LCCA and... Virgilius was already there when we arrived. He was sharing a conversation with Faust about what went down inside the train with a serious expression. I'll now leave with Kata and watch them unfasten Mephistopheles from the train. Oh shoot. Okay then. Guess I have to stop recording. Keep streaming. That hand on the manager's head seems to be desperately signaling me that they have a lot of burning questions to ask you. I'd like to give you two some space. I was finally able to ask Faust once Virgilius left. Why did you do that? Faust's body was quite literally blasted to pieces from the sheer explosive pressure that filled the room the moment Don Quixote's shoes came off. It was as though she knew that it was going to happen. Because there's a preferable course of action to having the same explosive demise occur to your body instead. I do find it regrettable that you were made to turn the clock despite my knowledge of the high likelihood of my death upon that occurrence. No, I'm not blaming you for that. I just want to know how long you've known that Don Quixote is... That is something I've been aware of since the LCB was first established. The same could be said of Virgilius. Of course. However, it was by the will of the LCA's superiors that this knowledge remains withheld from the manager until the appropriate moment. And that appropriate moment was back there? According to my private judgment, yes. Well, as my connection to all communications, including one to Faust, had been severed, I was not in a position to receive the headquarters authorization for that action. Right. Though the full truth may remain obscured still. We are once again returned. Returned. That was a layered word. We've returned to one of the warp platforms in our own dimension. We've returned to our daily lives of speculating about what's next in our path. And the usual Faust reconnected to Faust has returned. Yes. Faust replied to Yiseng's nebulous wording with a quiet affirmation. Please do not take this query with any greater import than a mere jest. However, do you suppose I shall see her again? She shot a puzzled look at Yiseng. In a way, it was quite the pleasant encounter, was it not? Yiseng mused ambiguously before leaving us. Phew. The incident at the warp train was such a chaotic mess that it felt shorter than it really was. I also learned so much about so many things. But it was too soon to start racking our brains about what kind of nonsense trial we were about to face in P Corp, so I decided to enjoy this momentary peace. How do we find ourselves at P Corp? Wherefore is my throat so parched? I'm too tired to explain. Chiquita, you missed out big time on one crazy adventure. Huh? Oh, that vibrated the last few grains of the sand out of my ears. The sinners look at Don Quixote's bewildered awakening, grinning. There's no way to know what we'll be facing here at District 16, where P Corp was located, but we got this, right? The same faith I saw in the Faust who believes in uncertainty rises within me, too. I looked up to Faust, only to see that Faust was looking at me as well. She nodded at me with her usual barely noticeable smile, and I gave her a light nod back in return. Time to go find ourselves another golden bough. Not quite yet. Oh. I thought the checkup was... I thought there was the checkup. The dream ending. I haven't read any of Don Quixote, but I do know that at the end of the story, a friend of his managed to snap him out of his, well, madness, and the result of that is that he became very depressed, which treats the life in the context of the not so famous but valiant Don Quixote.
밤이 서둘러 다가온다 해도
Not my Emoto, Squire. The night approacheth with great haste.
어둠을 헤치고 나아가
Thou shalt hew open a path, cleaving the shadows in twain.
세상에 둘도 없는
With the blessings and approval of thy family of which there is no equal.
모든 위험한 것들을 물리치고
Challenge and vanquish all things perilous,
행복에
and at last
있을 것이니
reach true happiness.
의심할 여지 없이
Thus how indubitable
오늘 나에게 일어날
the
모든
magnificence with which my ingenious adventures of today shall shine,
그리고 우리에게 일어날 모험이기도 하지.
which is our adventure as well.
다들 기억하지?
You remember the words, right? A fixer must maintain a head clear of corruption, speech free of deceit, conduct guided by clemency.
모험은 용맹스럽게 하고 고난은 견뎌가며
Clemency. I've heard that word before. Ah, okay. Disposition to show mercy, especially toward an offender or enemy. Show courage and adventure, and bear pain and suffering.
어려운 자들에게는
And pray, forget not the mercy of forget not the mercy for the downtrodden.
마지막에는
And last but not least,
목숨을 걸고서라도
pursue your
꿈을
dream,
잡으러 가는 거야.
even if it means wagering your life in the
이
chase.
중 하나라도 지키지
Should you
못한다면
ever fail to stand by even one of these
내가
tenets,
찾아와서
I'll smack you guys upside the head myself.
언제나 긴장하며
Steel yourself and always keep moving forward.
그거 참
Is that not
치사한 협박이 아닐 수 없군.
a threat most unfair?
나를 치사하네.
That's okay, Don Quixote. Major Esquire, how unfair of thee!
치사하다 말했네.
Most unfair, I say! What is it this time?
몸에 차례가 온 줄
For
알았는데.
once have I believed that 'twas my time to shine! Much did I wish to be the one to pull off the final flourish in its deserved splendor.
신문에 제대로 이름을
'Twas my chance to mark my name with newspapers. Returning to P-Corp's warp train station, Una seemed to always remind Don Quixote of our last misadventure. She'd repeated the exact same complaint a few times by now. Oh, wherefore dost thou make an expression of such great dourness, Major Esquire? I don't even have a face, let alone an expression.
그렇지 않소 나리.
How untrue, how untrue! Dost thou not see?
조그마한 동물이나
All things blessed with existence has heart, even the little critters, and indeed, even the blades of grass which most people bother not to linger even a fleeting thought upon. Forsooth, an existence of a heart necessitates an expression, wouldst thou not say?
그렇기에 우리는
That is to say, we mustn't let the strength of the body be the scale with which we judge one's measure. Thus, persevere. Let only thy unbending heart be the tool with which thou dispensest justice. Hark, hark!
누가 책도
Why, all with it. I'll catch it in the loss this time.
있는가?
Ah, hearken unto me, Major Esquire! Some time ago in the freight car of the warp train. Don Quixote, hey, can you hear me? Say something. Don Quixote regards me silently. No, that's some eldritch being who I can't help but wish is Don Quixote, gazing at me. She opens her mouth. My instinct is screaming at me to not listen to her, but... Don Quixote? Has the... ended? No, I don't think it's ended. Is that so?
나에게 로신한테
Rocinante, to me, I beseech you. I don't know if I gave her the right answer. My answer was an almost instinctual relay of a thought that manifested in my head. Don Quixote closes her eyes upon hearing my reply, as though drifting away into a gentle, pleasant dream. I carefully slipped the ragged pair of running shoes she called Rocinante onto her feet, and make a silent wish. Let her blood-red eyes never, ever open again.
벌써
Have we arrived? Fie! What devilry is this? Whither hath the villainous blood fiend gone? Don Quixote.
설마 나리가
Didst thou strike down the cur? And back to present.
아쉽긴 하네.
I kind of feel like we all missed out on something cool. I sure was there with Faust and Dante when it all went down to see how you guys managed to kill that guy, you know.
엄밀히 말하자면
Let's not leave a certain someone out of the story, She was there as well, though she embarrassingly passed out like a coward in front of that blood fiend.
림버스 컴퍼니의
The shame of Limbus company, I say.
림컴수
Oh. Shame of Limbus company. Okay.
기절한 건데.
Come on, we all passed out too, didn't we? Trust me, it's not something to be upset about, Don Quixote. I'd tell you if I could.
역시 저라도 남아 있었어야
I suppose I
했는데
should have been there to take the reins of the sinners.
그렇게 혈기가
Were
무서운
you that scared of that blood fiend, Don Quixote? That's okay, I understand how you feel. Oh, a true hero standeth still and calm, unmoved in the face of such base mockery.
확실히 결정적인 순간을
I agree, Rhodia. I do feel like we missed out on something big.
저희가 본 건
Because when we got there in the aftermath, all we saw was a very confused-looking Dante standing over the blood fiend's exploded, melted parts. I was standing confused. Was I? Forsooth, why didst thou not wake me? I would have even forgiven thee for slapping my cheeks upside down.
정확히 무슨 일이
So,
있었던
what
거야?
actually happened in there? I already told you guys earlier, didn't I? What? You just trailed off with that's, you know, until we changed the subject. What are you talking about?
머리에 불길이 치솟으면서
Executive Manager, perhaps you were in a similar state of explosive delirium to the one you experienced earlier? I'm referring to the time when your head burst into flames. Oh, no, it's, Otis began glaring at me warily as though my clock head was about to explode at any moment. That didn't happen. That didn't happen, huh?
그럼 상대를
Well, if
바꿔서
you won't talk, then I turned to Miss Faust, our second eyewitness. Can I get some statements for you, madam? Odie asks, confidently still in the mood to play detective.
대어 파우스트 쪽에서
Faust does not have any information she deems necessary to share at the moment.
그럼 다시 탄테 씨에게.
Gotcha. Then right back to you, witness Dante. Listen up. I have an important announcement to make, so pay close attention. I have no idea if it was a coincidence or not, but Virgilia stepped in at just the right moment to divert the sinners away from me.
알다시피 우리는 피사에서
As you're all well aware, we have been contracted by P Corp to work on a case here.
매번
I suppose we've done this song and dance enough times for you to know what's coming. Right. Let's a little bit have a scuffle, song, dance. What do the higher up tops want with distortion or abnormalities or what have you? Did I get that right? Aha! It is a quest that leads us to lay claim upon another golden bower in our hands, is it not? Don Quixote replies, brimming with excitement. Yes. Well, if the two of you were able to catch on that quick, then I don't suppose any further elaboration is necessary. However, this operation will be somewhat... No, let me correct myself. This operation will be drastically different from anything you have done so far. Maybe one of our most bothersome missions. Well, when hasn't it been like that? I guess it would be pretty bothersome to have to tag along with a group that's 2-3 times larger than our own, though. But
수감자들의 감은
the sinner's intuition appears to be growing sharper by the day. Oh, are we actually... You know what? I think I'm just going to keep these guesses to myself from now on. It's not something that can be negotiated. Isn't it better to join a group 3 times our size rather than to oppose it?
합동 작전을 한다는
Will this
것이
be a joint operation then?
상대는
Who will be working with? Can't say I have the fondest memories of joint operations.
아팠던 기억이었어.
Memories of pain, if you will. A mission at K-Corp was our first and last experience with a joint operation.
아직도 그때 메르소가
Still vividly remember watching Marisol's arm flying off, smacking against a pillar and squelching onto the floor. More accurate recounting of the event would have included the fact that my scapula was forcibly separated from my torso.
그냥 이번에도 우리끼리 하면
Can we
안
just
돼?
keep this between us? The other guys will just get in our way and screw everything up.
저 녀석의 말에 적극 동의하게 되는 거.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but I strongly agree with that one.
오만한 발언이고.
How presumptuous of you all. You do well to remember that you are not the only team coming into this operation harboring such arrogant thoughts.
이번 의뢰는
This contract is, after all, an open contract posted by the Hana Association.
공개
The association overlooking the operations of fixers. Virgili stopped himself, noticing an ominous aura from one of the sinners. Let me guess, an ominous aura from Don Quixote? Yep! There stood Don Quixote, practically vibrating with excitement.
이쯤에서
Someone gag Don Quixote at your earliest convenience.
내가 맞지.
Allow me!
조그만한 사무소의 해결사가
Anyway, this means that our colleagues joining the operation will be any ragtag bands of fixers from some alleyway office no one's ever heard of. It's very likely that fixers from somewhat established associations will be joining us. You! Stop wriggling your lips! I am so glad that Otis was here to stop Don Quixote from exploding into joy. Because if she hadn't, we'd be drawing the attention of every single person in a sizable radius around us. Right! So what kind of boss are we dealing with this time?
아니.
More than that, how do they want it done? You're talking like some shitty backstreets fixer. Julius looked up just as Heathcliff asked his question.
자세한 건
Further details
우리에게
will
걸어오고
be shared by our client who graces us with her timely arrival. September 11th, huh? Ooh! What'd I get? What'd I get? What'd I get? You better not be an announcer.
함께 하시겠나요? 추악함을 정화하는
Ooh!
대업을.
Well then! Man, she could provide 2 of the 3. Inflict gaze. What does that do? Plus 20% damage from pierce and blunt skills for 1 turn. The ally that defeats the marked unit heals 10 SP. If the ally is an N-Corp fanatic, also apply 1 fanatic next turn. I really like this identity. Whoops, wrong thing. Which is explored Limbus Company's not exactly first alliance with the wing. Wait a second. Oh. I thought that was supposed to be a continuation of the title for the last chapter. So she's the one we were supposed to meet here at the station. My, what an honor this is, to meet the Vedgaze himself in the flesh. Everyone, I'm pleased to meet you all. I'm Cesara, head manager of P-Corp, Archival Department. Archival Department? So, you are bookkeepers then? In a manner of speaking, yes. It is a rather significant department within P-Corp, regardless of how other wings treat their own archivists. If a bigwig like the head manager of such an important department is here to see her as herself, then... boy, I guess we really are putting our names out there. Not an entirely incorrect assessment. I did hear some things about you and Limbus Company through the word of mouth. And what was it? Ah, yes, a medium-sized enterprise with its employees gladly braving death to see a contract to its end, all just to obtain these golden boughs. That bodysuit can't be... with it being so form-fitting, I imagine it's probably not too warm. She might need that more than I do. That's true, I guess, but... hey, she's actually making us sound pretty impressive, huh? Forsooth, I and my dearest compatriots have vanquished countless evils through all kinds of hardships and deadly foes. Brave death, indeed! The other sinners were more confused than impressed by her description. It was clear from Don Quixote's practically twinkling eyes that she was immensely infatuated by it. I did receive a brief of this contract, particularly stubborn urban nightmare case, which all kinds of fixers have failed to rout despite their repeated attempts. Correct. I doubt it is customary for the head manager of an entire department to greet no-name fixer offices looking to make a name for themselves. Correct again. And seeing how you've gone to the lengths to privately deliver this particular contract to our hands, this isn't a simple urban nightmare eradication contract, is it? I sense that your expectations of us extend beyond simply defeating it. It must be a particular task you're expecting us to brave death for, given your emphasis. What an odd feeling. I wasn't going to hide it from you anyway, but it feels as though you're reading it to me like an open book. We stared in dumbfounded silence as Virgilius effortlessly cut through the hoops to get to the core of the contract. Yes, your people were quite blunt about this when you first contacted us first. That there's this golden bough somewhere near our eradication target. My, I was so astonished when I picked up that call. Your people refused to answer our questions, refused to tell us what those golden boughs are. Insisted that we let you people inside the zone to confirm the exact coordinates. I almost thought it was a prank call or something. I believe we also made you an offer you couldn't refuse. I don't know if it's a particularly versatile agent or a very proactive intelligence department. Your company has some serious intel gathering capabilities. Cesara let out a deep sigh and leaned against a wall, her shoulders slumping slightly. So what exactly are we eradicating this time? Given that we have hopeful fixers queuing up to join this mission, what, is an escaped abnormality wreaking havoc somewhere like last time? Or is it distortion? Because if it is... Cesara wordlessly stared at Ishmael as she began to rapid-fire her list of questions. Right, forgot to explain. So abnormalities and distortions are the kind of monsters that may look familiar at first glance. If only our problem was just another monster to deal with. Something that had caught my eye immediately after we arrived at this place. The missing persons flyer. Countless flyers, each in search of a different person, were taped to the pillars inside the station. Looks like people of P Corp were randomly going missing in no discernible age or gender patterns. Cesara, realizing they were staring at the wall of missing person flyers, began. As you can see, the flyers are all old, faded, and tattered to the point where the papers are starting to peel off. Which means that none of them have returned home safely. So we're not dealing with an entity then. It is a phenomenon. The land where the happiest smiles bloom. The amusement park of fables and legends. La Mancha Land. La Mancha Land? More than several dozen people have been reported missing, but the real number is likely much higher. Most of the guests who visit La Mancha Land, which mysteriously materialized 2 months ago at the backstreets of P Corp, are still trapped within. They have gone missing, thou sayest? Yet how can that be? 'Tis against the nature of amusement parks to be so full of horror, not joy. I simply did not have enough manpower under my authority to deal with this. It was designated an urban plague 3 days after its first appearance, and now it's been escalated to an urban nightmare. Curious. If it is a mere urban nightmare, not even a star of the city, then shouldn't P Corp be able to easily handle this on its own? That's the thing. The other departments aren't really interested in this phenomenon, which means that the marshal department won't be sending their elite employees to handle this case. What? Yet wherefore doth P Corp not deploy their elite forces to swiftly vanquish this risk to the lives of the innocent? Don Quixote was now completely and emotionally invested in this gripping tale of tragedy that our client was sharing. Cesara seemed to be enjoying Don Quixote's excessive, almost theatrical reaction. Because the phenomenon only affects the back streets. Imagine if it happened somewhere within the nest. Squadrons of elite agents from the compression department would have descended the moment it manifested. That's enough beating around the bush, Head Manager Cesara. What war are you hiding? It would have been a walk in the park for someone of your status and station to requisition agents from a different department. To explain, why did you really go through the trouble of hiring the Limbus company? Yes, my, you really are unrelenting. Fine, I confess, the goal of our department isn't the eradication of La Mancha Land. Huh? Now, you'll soon be heading into La Mancha Land with the other fixers. A piece of advice, if you will. Do not let the other fixers know that you're here to find the Golden Bough. If they were to somehow find out that there is this mysterious artifact called the Golden Bough hidden somewhere within that zone, it could start attracting unwanted attention from fixers who consider it a bounty separate from the eradication reward. No need to stir the pot, And I'm sure you're all savvy enough to know that it would be wise to keep quiet about the true objective of our department, if you know what I mean. I hear you loud and clear. Let's keep this hush-hush between P Corp and Limbus Company. We both get what we want, and we can go our separate ways once this business is over. No fuss, no muss. Did I get that right? That's a pretty good summary. Who do you think we are? I can tell you right now that when it comes to OPSEC, some of us might fall slightly behind. It's about time we got to the point. We're only attracting more unwanted eyes by lingering here. That's true.
라만차랜드로
Here's your
들어가.
mission. Enter La Mancha Land, find the thing, or someone that created La Mancha Land, and bring it to me. Or someone?
무언가일 수도 있다.
The thing, or someone, is too insufficient of description. We do not even know if what we seek is made of organic or inorganic material.
단순히 라만철랜드를
So,
없애는 걸로
why do you need the
끝나는 게 아니라
thing, person who created La Mancha Land? Shouldn't eradicating it be enough? Ah. Cesaro's eyes twinkled for a brief moment as they lingered on Sinclair.
왜
Did I say something wrong?
그런 질문을 감히 할
I don't know. I suppose I was flabbergasted by a boldness of daring to ask a question like that.
제가 당신들에게
Notice how I'm not asking you why you're looking for the golden vows.
뭐? 굳이
Well,
숨길
it's
만한
not like a
내용은
big secret or
아니지만
anything.
굳이 말씀드리자면
If you really do want to know, here it is. I just want whoever or whatever it is behind this case to be held responsible for the damages they've caused. Forsooth! A villain who hath committed such wicked atrocity deserveth the punishment most fitting.
그리고 겸사겸사
And as a
다른
little bonus,
부서들이
I get to
채취할 만한 성과를
put
올려서
some achievements under my belt to give my department a little push to rise above the others. I could use some promotion right about now. Right about now, you know.
어차피
Suppose it doesn't matter whether we accept your proposition or not. We must have already reached an agreement with the top brass of our company.
만약 우리가 그곳을 직접
Right, but what if,
없애버리는데
after a kick of the phenomenon's arse, we don't bother bringing in the bloke who made that bizarre amusement park?
그때는 어쩔 거냐?
What do you do then? Heathcliff spoke crassly, but it was a reasonable question. After all, there was also a chance that we could fail to bring the culprit here, even if we wanted to.
당장 손에 넣을 순 없겠지.
Well, then I suppose we'll start looking into what these golden boughs are, even if we won't get our hands on them immediately. Ah, so you start getting in our way if we don't bring you what you want, is that it?
물론 데려온다면
It
굳이
would be rather
그런
unnecessary and
걸 연구할 필요는 없죠.
cost-ineffective research investment, of course, but you just might force our hand if you don't do as we requested.
그리고
Besides, while La Mancha is only an urban nightmare at the moment, its threat level is rising exponentially.
그
This means that more and more people in the city are beginning to catch wind of this case.
지금 이 순간에도
Numerous fixers from all over the city are gathered here at this very moment to eradicate La Mancha Land, to demonstrate my point. You're saying that that we're not your only option.
돈과 명예를 원하는 자들은
Who doesn't love fame and fortune?
언제나 마르는
We could always get a truckload of willing participants if we wanted to.
아,
Oh, and maybe, just maybe, some
해결사들도
fixers among them may find
조만간
themselves becoming particularly interested in these golden
관심을
boughs.
가질 수도 있을
I
거예요.
swear, these precious artifacts must have a particular smell that attracts fixers like bees to honey. Got it. You want this mission taken care of before the phenomenon attracts too much attention.
이번에도 이야기의
Oh, you're
핵심을
cutting
잘
right through the
파악하네요.
fluff again.
맞아요.
Anyways, you got that right. Isn't it so fortunate how we both seem to be under the impression that what each of us is looking for won't be of much use to the other? For now, at least.
그래서 당신들도 황금가지에 대해
I suppose that is why
말이야.
you're keeping the nature of the golden boughs discreet. And that is why we're keeping it on the down low about what created La Mancha Land. Agreed. The more eyes observe and info, the less value it has, like run-of-the-mill mass-produced products.
그럼 그렇지.
Of course it's all work talk. I got excited for a sec thinking we were about to get some nice souvenirs.
당신들에게 거는 기대가
We have
커요.
very high expectations for every single one of you.
죽음까지도
After
불사하시는
all, you're all
분들이잖아요.
willing to die for this, aren't you? She keeps saying that. This is what every single one of our contracts has been like. Stability and safety go out the window the moment the mission begins in earnest. We share nothing but our cold goals and objectives, not exchanging anything deeper than the shallowest transactions. I'd grown to accept that as this as an inevitability, but I do know that this is probably not the right way. Ahem! Amidst the dull and resigned eyes of the other sinners, Don Quixote's eyes alone burned with passionate fire. Thou mayst put thy faith in us, head manager Cesara! I, Don Quixote, and my compatriots here at Limbus Company shall put an end to the terrible reign of this La Mancha Land and rescue every single victim it hath claimed. And mark my words, we shall pinch this vile rascal who created La Mancha Land by the collar and present them before thee. Prithee, smite them with the hammer of justice in everyone's stead.
어머나, 그거 참 안심이 되는
My,
말이네요.
you certainly know how to inspire confidence. That's more than I could say for the vast majority of fixers I've known. I, Don Quixote, shall battle valiantly and honorably. Thus shall my name be forever etched in the halls of P Corp. Don Quixote was bouncing up and down like she was prepared to stand at Cesaro's beck and call.
그만.
Please stop.
그 짧은 시간에 사람 하나 다루는
This woman
법을
certainly wasted no time
정확하게
figuring out how to turn her into putty in her hands.
저 녀석이 너무 쉬운.
Really ain't that difficult to see how the loss works, to be fair.
자, 그럼 슬슬 이동할까요?
Well then, shall we get a move on?
떠나세.
Let us depart! Lead the way, Lady Cesara!
안타깝지만
Oh,
안내는
I'm sorry.
없어요.
Sadly, I can't go there with
저는
you.
여기
Please head to the location marked on this piece of paper.
어째서인가?
Yet wherefore? A journey on thy lonesome shall be so dreary, no?
당연하잖아요.
Isn't it obvious? If we show up at the Fixers gathering with the head manager of a whole department in tow, we'll attract more eyes than the superstars on a red carpet. Yeah, I'm sure they'll sniff out our connection to P Corp at a glance. Yet, are not stars of super variety a good goal to strive for? Don Quixote, this might come as news to you, but sometimes words can mean more than one thing at a time.
현장은 뒷골목에 있으니
Here's a pass that'll let you move freely between the back streets of the nest of P Corp. Do note that it's a work visa, however, so it won't last forever. If they could just hand out something so important this easily, I can't imagine why our department won't be able to handle it themselves. Sinclair was still quietly suspicious, but that small doubt was practically buried in the brief commotion that followed as sinners gathered in front of Cesar to receive their visa. I need to get some food. I'll be back. Hmm.
높이, 더 높이, 더욱 순수한 몸으로.
Child had remained seated in the same spot for 3 days now. That's the background music that plays when you fight Cromer in your second phase. It's as if the screen has absorbed her attention completely, burying even the desire to eat or sleep beneath sensory stimulation. The child seems as if she can't feel a thing. Yes, this is it. It keeps going. The room's air is still, only stirred on occasion by creepy cackles, murmured monologues, and the clicks and taps of the keyboard and the mouse. Just look at how many infidels are printing out prosthetics. How appalling! How disgusting! The storage device was plugged into the child's computer. Its tiny glowing letters read Emile, following the name that must be the key she got from Sinclair. Sinclair, oh Sinclair, my, how grateful I am for you, truly. Yeah, the whole village is a den of heresy. Must have been quite unpleasant to live in such a place, Sinclair. The child's mind is busied with thoughts. Now, how will I purify those impure things? Now, let's think for a second. Those heretics will keep the purest peace in their bodies, don't they? And still keep the purest peace in their bodies, don't they? The brain. Even those who have replaced their entire bodies with prosthetics still have a brain. The legs of the heart and lungs can all be augmented and swapped out, but the brain is the one pure, irreplaceable thing in the city. Ha! That won't do. Think of the poor thing, all surrounded by impurity. The irony churns my guts just thinking about it. I'll have to rip their heads apart. That way the impure will stay impure. Yes. Yes! With her mind firmly made up, the child rose from her seat and gripped a huge nail. You're my hero, Sinclair. Her other hand, she unfolded a map stained with blood and grease. It's exactly as I saw through the glass window in that company's lab! That glimpse of the righteous fury you showed for such filth. Little prod got you to hand this treasure over to me. She appeared as though she were possessed by something as she bit off the lid of a red pen. I shall purge the heresies encircling you. I shall wipe clean the disgust. You will see it in no time. The future where we judge heretics together has been set in stone. We'll meet soon, Sinclair. Ah, ACG9. There's a burst of frivolous laughter and compulsive gestures. The child cackled like a maniac. All as she kept on drawing circles over where the town of Call was indicated on the map. We'll purify the filth together, shoulder to shoulder. The town on the map was now covered in red, as if she hinted at what would become of the town. Yeah, I just did a bulk poll and got this identity. I wager it would combo pretty well with the La Mancha land identities because those ones are rather good at stacking bleed potency, but this identity, through the nails effect, is really good at stacking bleed count. Gripping, huh? Oh, inflicts even more nails. Really only on the bench. I'm not so sure about that. Even if her damage itself is not all that great, by stacking up a bunch of nails on the target, can also cause the bleed potency to stack up a lot. The Kudokumo Heathcliff? Maybe. I'd say the nails effect is more reliable for that. Because with nails, it applies bleed count equal to the nail count, equal to the, I think, count for nails, and then reduces the the count of nails by 1 at the end of the turn. As such, nails can stack up rather easily if you have identities that can reliably inflict more than 1 stack of it per turn. 99 count? Huh. Must have been in a mirror dungeon. That, or it's probably because you have a lot more identities at up type 4 than I do.
뱃대에서 내려 전장으로.
Okay. Cesaro's directions led us to an empty lot in the back streets.
뭐야 여기?
The hell is this now?
뒷골목은 보통 건물들이 뒤지게 빽빽하게 마련인데.
You can't realistically hit that in the story. Huh. Seem like the tight alleyways of the box streets, I know. I know. What's this huge empty lot doing here?
그러게.
Really? Right? Weird, it's rare to see this much real estate get go unused in the back streets.
이유는 모르겠지만
There are a bunch of banners hanging by the buildings for some reason. For some reason, too. No, it's only possible like on a singular boss. Okay.
너희는 현장을 보고 있도록.
This fast I will converse with the person in charge. The rest of you assess the situation in the meantime.
그때까지 얌전히.
Don't start any trouble. Don't start too much trouble until we return.
여부가 있겠는가?
Thou mayst place thy faith in us! He's given up on the slim hope that we won't be getting into any trouble without him.
자 그럼
Well, let's see what we're working with here. The empty lot was surrounded by all kinds of warning signs and perimeter tapes deterring anyone from haphazardly wandering inside. Let's see. That's all statuses that isn't sinking or burn. We reached out to grab the tapes to duck under them.
에헤이.
Dude, hey, dude! Voice rang out, stopping us in our tracks.
네?
Yeah, I mean, what?
잘 모르는 것 같아서 하는 말.
Alright, I'll be nice.
함부로 들어오면 안 돼.
Alright, I'll be nice as it doesn't seem like you guys know what you just walked into. This place is off limits, okay? Off limits.
저도 그렇고.
Fixes only, like me and the rest of the people gathered here, yeah? Fixers. Cities aren't allowed on the operation grounds. Jeez, these P-Corp folks sure are slack with their perimeter job.
잠깐만.
Wait, why did you look at me like you said... Why did you look at me when you said that? Wait. Oh, they're concerned for our safety. No worries, good man. No worries. Fixers we may not be, but the daring heart of justice that burns within these is just as bright in our own. Forsooth, we are prepared to brave death to see it. Don Quixote confidently leaps over the warning tape and scampers into the empty lot. Hey, do you have any idea what you're walking into? Hark! We arrive here on a contract, just as you! A contract for the eradication of La Mancha land! Practically hear everyone in the empty lot turning to look at us. Looks on their eyes could hardly be described as friendly. In fact, their alarm at our arrival was palpable. That's when one of the fixers, wielding a massive weapon, strode in our direction.
너희도 사냥하러 온 놈들이라고.
Van Helsing, I presume? That probably more like Stan Helsing. You're here for the hunt, you twerps? Oh man, silly me. I forgot to do maintenance for my weapons. I don't have time for this. I guess I'll, go take care of that now. Bye! The obnoxious guy who's clearly way in over his head turned away from when the giant of a fixer stomped his way into the conversation. And the other fixers shook their heads as though they knew what was about to happen. You're clearly not fixers from an association. Obviously not anyone from the office of even passing renown. How many more of these small-time freeloaders are we going to take on? Accept any more of them and we'd end up having to split an on of that reward money between us. Already got these bloody tossers running for a fight, eh? Emblems of the garbs apparently say Fanghead office, yet to hunt fangs has to mean... You even seen one of them in person before? Prithee? Seen what? Blood fiends. Blood fiends? Wait, we're dealing with blood fiends in this contract? We're not informed of any blood fiend involvement in this contract. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Know-nothing amateurs, all of them. Makes my blood boil to watch idiots like you rush to nab a contract just for the promise of some cash and fame. Not only do you get in the way of the hunt, but you also really spoil the fun out of this activity. Say what? What's so wrong with keeping your eye on the money? But yeah, I don't think they're just here for the contract reward. Yes, this case seems to hold a special meaning to them. Fools driven by their creed are much more troublesome to deal with than simpletons motivated by money. I refuse to take part in an operation alongside these idiots. Alongside these idiots who don't even know what it's like to deal with blood fiends. Well, pretty sure I don't need anyone to explain that acronym. As much as I would like to avoid entertaining you amateurs, I'll admit that curiosity has gotten the better of me. What did she just say to me? Oh. Shut that flap hole, ugly. Oh. Looks like you let a bit of your personal feelings bleed into that interpretation. Yours wasn't half bad. Heck. Anyways, this isn't our first blood feed contract, you know. It may not be much, but we've dealt with them before. We don't deserve to get talked down to by you like that. Not one of us. At least when it comes to fighting. Great comeback, but I'm talking a few points for that hesitation there. So this ain't your first rodeo, eh? Then show me what you've got. Let's see if you're all talk or if you're real hunters ready for the real deal. What? Mate, are we really doing this? Here, before you even set foot in that? I'm telling you, we've got puppets and everything.
너무 걱정은 마라.
Don't be a baby. Well, it hurt you just enough to send you home crying. Will a broken arm and a leg convince you?
집으로 돌아가는
You'll
열차를
think it's on your train home. I'd say an arm and a leg are much more acceptable losses than getting your blood brutally drained by a blood fiend. Haven't heard that background music in a while. Well, at least been playing through the story.
일기당천. 해무룩 꿰뚫구나. 그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데. 저 해충들을
이거리면 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
사요. 짐승. 혈압도 바로.
불가 위
목을 떨궈주마. 너는 푸름을 틔울 수 없겠군.
놀랐어?
이건 예상 못했나봐. 뭐랄까? 죽었네. 다음은 어디로?
이거리면 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만. 좀 세상이네.
고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나. 다음은 어디로?
불가 위야 막아야 못해.
물론
이거리면 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
And there we go.
저번에 약속한 거 안 잊었지, 죽은? 그 외에 임무를 성공적으로 100번만 수행하면 죽은?
Wait,
설마
what's this one
수행권을
called?
벌써 다 쓴 거야? 말도 안 돼.
What befell our company upon a
약속이랑
departure
다르잖아.
from the Red Gaze's hands?
필득 출진.
Oh wait.
날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어. 그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
목을 콱 물어버리자고.
해무로 끓여. 저 해충들을
이거리면
구해내.
충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
사요. 짐승.
Wait, is the unit that he calls upon, for that, to combo with, is it based on speed? Because that would explain why he's yet to combo with Sinclair.
이거리면 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
불가 위야.
시비수에게
마감지.
이 앞에 숨지는 자. 넌 숨을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
이거리면 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
불가 위야. 막아내지 못하리. 틈틈. 바로 이제 깨우치시겠.
말로 거저 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나. 저 해충들을 도려내. 물 넘고 거꾸로 제철. 오여. 길을 열어. 한 넘고 물 넘고 거꾸로 제철. 도대체 그런 변신 기술은
Your
보도 못한
transformations. Let's say I haven't seen anything like it before.
야, 이 정도.
Enough demonstration for you, you twit.
그래 이 정도면
Fine.
인정할
I'll admit
수밖에
you've got
없지.
some skill.
생각보다 괜찮은
Oh,
놈들이
they're not half bad. We always welcome cooperation with fellow fixers who can carry their own weight.
이제 보니 너희
Hey, I recognize you. I saw you guys basically busily chatting away back at the warp train platform. My name's Romero, by the way. Is that your last name? Your first name wouldn't happen to be George, would it? I think that's it.
일행이 싸우는데.
You just sat there and watched as your men were out here fighting? Yeah, but the fight was already underway when I got here, and I doubt I would have been able to talk them out of it. Besides, I had a feeling that you guys could hold your own against my men. So please, I would ask for your understanding. They're not bad people. They're just on edge. Anyone would be after they've gone through after what they've gone through in their struggles against the blood fiends.
그런 존재를 사냥하다 보면
You have my understanding. Hunting entities such as those who lie beyond the ken must plant seeds of doubt in many a heart of man.
사실 나도 얘들 의견에 부분적으로는 동의해.
Right, I do agree with them, at least partially. The bar set by P Corp, the Han Association for Fixers participating in this contract, is shockingly low and indiscriminate.
나였다면
If it were up to me, I would have set a more strict set of conditions. His friendly smile faltered slightly as he gestured around the empty lot.
저쪽 천막 주위에
Look around, over there by the command tent. Just one look at who we're working with, and I'm sure it'll be I'm sure it'll become pretty clear that they don't know what they're walking into. Should have hired only the professionals to take on this contract. Around the command tent? We all simultaneously turned to look at the large, noisy tent.
여러분들 봤어? 저기 입구 쪽에서 싸움 난 거? 정말 난장판이지? 세상에, 내가 이런 놈들이랑 같은 의뢰를 하면서 부대 끼고 있어야 된다는 거야.
An outfit like that, he's got to be with the Sync Association, which all specialize in duelists. Please tell me he does not go into battle while live streaming using his smartphone on a selfie stick like that. Because there's just no way that wouldn't interfere with his ability to fight. I mean, are you seeing this, chat? This guy for real? Oh, chat, is this for real? There's a huge brawl by the entrance. It's real amateur hour out here, guys. Can you believe that I gotta stand shoulder to shoulder with these idiots for the contract?
저자는 또
What?
뭐지?
What the hell is he doing? At the distance, we saw some guy running his mouth and striking several exaggerated dramatic poses at a tiny device, most likely a camera of sorts. No, we have all had experience with someone like him in the past. That guy reminds me of a certain someone.
그 프리트처럼 사진을
He's
찍어대는
taking pics like that guy Siegfried. He ran around for a while, visiting every corner of the empty lot, trying to get every detail of the frame. And suddenly he started strutting towards us in an annoyed gait.
이봐, 너희.
Hello, yes, you guys over there. Hast thou called upon
좀
us?
다른 데로 가줄래? 시청자들한테
Do you mind
방해가
loitering around somewhere else? Shoot, you're getting in the way of my viewers, guys.
저희의 통행에도 방해가 되는데요.
But you're literally in our way, guy. He whipped his attention back to the camera as though he was pretending not to hear what Ishmael said, or as if he decided that her words weren't worth entertaining.
지금 내가
Oh,
어디
you
왔냐?
want to know where I am? Hold on to your seats, guys. I'm at the back streets of District 16. Yep, where P Corp is.
맞아.
Oh yeah, remember the P Corp 150 vintage semi-permanent canned ice cream unboxing and review live stream? Yep, the very same. Unfortunately, I'm not here to eat ice cream today.
저 양반은 아까부터
So I've been meaning to ask, who's that fella even talking to? What the heck's he doing?
아마도
I think he's talking.
자기 시청자들한테 말하고 있는 것 같아.
Hey guys, back in for another street. This time we're gonna go take on Dracula. I guess you mean for another stream. I think he's talking to his viewers who are watching his show.
고정의 방송 호스트라는 느낌이 드는군.
It appears that he is the host of a certain show. It has been reported that in certain parts of the city, a new culture of live streaming via those cameras has been on the rise.
무례한 작자네.
What a rude piece of work! Don't let him get you down, kiddo. What a... Huh? What a glorious day it is! Behold, this man is Sir Camille of Sync Association West. His name honored as one of the top 10 up-and-coming new generation fixers featured in the October issue of Fixers Monthly, one of the big fixer magazines of the city. Up-and-coming. Yeah, until he takes on this job, he really should not have been splitting his attention between... he really should not have been splitting his attention between his chat/live stream and fighting.
누누이 말하는 거지만
I know he says every single time, but most people don't know what... never mind.
지난번에 버스에서 보여주기까지 했는데 아무도 듣지 않았다는
My name's not Chat, though. How? Have ye not hearkened when I shared the news of grave significance aboard the bus? Hath none of you heeded mine words?
미쳤냐? 그걸 듣게?
Mod.
그냥 안 듣고 잤지.
I want to listen to what I cannot, instead.
길을 운행 중에 그런
Such a raging over a winding path is often cause of sickness of the road, Miss Don Quixote. Rumbling sinners clearly existed outside Don Quixote's world. She was breathing very heavily, a look of admiration clear on her face. I, for one, did not imagine, even in my wildest dreams, that I should be shaking hands with Sir Camille in person. Of course, no one shook hands or exchanged the simplest pleasantries with Camille just yet.
저번에 약속한 거 안 잊었지, 죽은? 그 외에 임무를 성공적으로 100번만 수행하면 죽은? 설마 소유권을 벌써 다 쓴 거야? 말도 안 돼. 이건 약속이랑 다르잖아.
불성산업
Ah, Sway Association. So embarrassing. Do you really have to clown around with that thing while on a mission?
와, 여러분 보여?
Well, hey Chet, look, let me introduce you all to Paula from the Zway Association. She'll be my sidekick in this mission.
보조가 아닌
Listen, I'm not your sidekick.
착장을 보면 알겠지만
As you can
나랑
probably tell from her outfit, she's a
해결사이야.
fixture from the West, just like myself.
가끔 이렇게 협회에서
The association sometimes sticks with sidekicks like her against my will for some contracts. A joint operation, you know?
맞아, 맞아.
Hmm?
난
Oh yeah, totally! I don't really shine when I work alone, but what can I do? Gotta do what the higher-ups tell me to do. You get it, right?
그래도 자,
Well, why don't you say hello to my dear fans anyway, Miss Paula?
쉐이크요. 스바이 협회가 한 자리에서 협력하는 것을
Oh, a collaboration with the Sink in this way. Two formidable forces together as one. I think she's tearing up. What? Great, glorious, great,
차오르는 이
blood pumping feeling is this is. My heart pounds badly as though its explosion is nigh.
매일 영상으로만 본 자들이
The great figures I'd previously seen only through recordings, through books, through figurines, and here before me the flesh, conversing, ambling right before my eyes. Do you know most of the fixers here then, Don Quixote?
도덕적인 해결사 잡지에
A
나온
fixer hath been featured in one of the magazines I am subscribed to. Verily! Right, if that's the case, if everyone here really are all fixers, then she probably knows who that person is too, right? That person who's been staring daggers at us this whole time. Then who are they over there? That group of fixers who's been staring at us for a while. Ah! Allow me to observe! Hath the reputation already preceded us to be recognized by mere sight? 'Tis a joyous conundrum indeed. 'Tis precisely why I had said that I must graciously bow out from that special feature of the front page of a newspaper. I may have a few gaps in my knowledge. 'Tis probable that they are from a small upstart office that hath only recently registered itself. But 'tis clear from the fashion in which they are garbed that they hail from the east.
다행이네요.
What a relief.
저분들이 누구인지는
Conveniently, I recognize who they are.
무엇이 본인도 모르는 해결사
Hoyday! That recognizes the fixer whom I do not, for truth? Don Quixote stares at Hong Lu in utter disbelief. Aristotle, come on, man, don't look back at them.
아까부터 계속 마주보고
We have been looking at each other for a while.
눈을 피하는
There's no reason for me to avert my eyes.
그발 세간에서는
My man, that's what most people call a staring contest and interlude. So let's just... they're all walking toward us. Should we wave at them or something? Crap, then. Yeah, let's stare right back at them again. Let's at least not come off like we're scared of them. Yeah, confidence. You know they're within hearing distance, right? Yeah, they're right in front of us.
아이씨 답답해.
Bloody hell! Don't look away, lad. I'm all right back. You don't want to get caught unawares. We're about to get into fisticuffs. Oi, lass, have you got business with us or what? Oh, what's with that grin on your face?
여러분에게
I didn't know I'd be introducing her to everyone so soon.
인사시켜드릴게요.
Please say hello
제 동생
to my little sister, Jia Chun. Little sister?
동생이요?
Little sister?
자칫하면 몰라볼 뻔했지
I was
뭐야.
taken right and didn't recognize you.
마지막으로 보았을
Last time I
때만
remember
해도
you were only up to my knees in height.
그건 어릴 때였으니까.
Ah, she's adorable! That's because I was a child the last time you saw me.
집을 나가서 혼자 대체
And here I
뭘
was, wondering what kind of
고쳐놨을지
impressive shenanigans you were preparing for since you left home.
이게 전부야? 오빠가 만든 세력이?
Are her eyes pink? Either that or red. This is it? Is this all you've managed to build of your own faction? God, they're not my faction, Shichun. Come on, let me introduce you to them. I'll start here. This is Mr. Gregor. Say hello. Now,
왜 그렇게
don't be shy. My
삐져버려?
name's Ro.
됐어? 그럴 시간도.
Forget it. I don't have time for this. Jia Shichun and he gave us a side eye before dismissively cutting us off. Well, okay. Oh, hey, you've not only grown in height, Shichun. I see that your circle of friends has been growing too, just like mine. Are they new? To call them friends was a very optimistic assessment on Hong Lu's part. Because The people who accompanied Jia Shichun were all threateningly sizing us up like they were getting ready for a fight.
정말 친구라고 생각해서
You don't really think they're my
그렇게
friends, do you?
그리고 다른 오빠
I'm so far
언니들에
behind my
비하면
older siblings anyway.
그렇구나.
I see.
그리고
Do you know that some of us are still out here looking for you? I do. Oh, that reminds me. I met Jeff Juan earlier and had a quick chat with him.
그
Ah,
만남이
you're still in one
오빠를
piece after
만나고도
running with that
멀쩡한
asshole?
걸
Still lucky as always, huh? I think back to the time when we first met this Jeff Juan. His venomous words, that contemptuous look he gave us as we lay there dying. Seems that moment was embellished into a pleasant, quick chat in Hong Lu's memory. Either that, or that interaction is what counts as a quick chat for Hong Lu.
시춘, 아까 들었는데 이곳
Shichun,
일대는 위험하다는
I
것
overheard
같아.
that this is a pretty dangerous place. People have been going missing
너와
around here.
이런
Why don't you and your friends go find somewhere safe to take refuge in? I still can't tell if you're trying to be funny or if you're genuinely worried for me.
저기 말이야.
Listen, my naive brother, I got here first, okay? Earlier than you and your faction, your second-rate minions. Is this making sense to you? I'm here to take part in the eradication of La Mancha land. I'm pretty sure I have better intel on this place than you do.
참가자라니?
You are?
시춘,
But why would you take part
네가
in something
이런 걸
like this?
참가할 필요는 없지
It's not
않니?
like you need the reward money, right?
당연하지.
Yeah, you don't say. And I doubt you're in it for some pocket money either. Pocket money, huh? Sure, whatever. Pocket money.
그럼
Oh, then is it... Ah, never mind. I don't think you or Mr. Wei are going to answer that question anyway. Hong Lu's eyes momentarily diverted from his younger sister to her posse. There stood a long-haired man who looked toward Jia Shichun as though he was asking for permission, then walked toward us and bowed deeply and politely toward Hong Lu.
안녕하십니까, 도련님.
It has been a while, young master.
와, 오랜만이죠,
Wow, it's been so long, Mr. Wei. Mr. Wei,
시춘의 호의신가
still
보이나?
escorting Shichun, I see.
부족하지만
Yes, I'm still in her service, despite my shortcomings.
안쪽은 위험할
I'm
수도
worried that I
있을
might be
텐데.
too dangerous in there.
아, 시춘.
Ah, why don't you
우리랑
tag
같이
along with
다니는
us,
건
Shichun?
어떻겠니?
Let's do this together.
여전하시.
Young master, I see that you are still yourself.
아니,
Forget that. Why don't you mind your own business and we go our separate ways?
여기 가만 보니까
I can see that you and your friends have some real talent for attracting attention, but I prefer to keep things discreet.
안에선
And I'd prefer it if you didn't embarrass me in there by talking to me or something.
그래. 시춘
Okay, if
네가
that's
원한다면
what you want, Shichun.
다시 만난다면
I thought you'd have gotten better all this time, brother. At least better than you were the last time we met.
그렇구나.
I see. I suppose you haven't improved at all in your eyes.
지금 만난 게 나라서 다행인 줄 알아.
You should consider yourself lucky that it's me who ran into you. If it was one of our older siblings, your pretty head would already be rolling in the dirt.
고마워.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Jia Shichun scowled and opened her lips as though she was about to shoot something back, but she thought better of it, turned around, and left with her posse. Well, they say it's rare to see a happy family than it is to see an unhappy one.
왜날 봐?
Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me. I never considered that dog my family.
아니, 그게
No, but that's not what I...
뭘 쳐다보는 거지?
What are you looking at? Do you expect me to back you up or something? Ah, man.
여전히 변한 게 없네요.
Just like old
예전에도
times.
저렇게 까칠했다는
So
거야.
she was always that spiteful?
아니요.
Spiteful?
예전에도
No,
다른
Shichun has always been and still is my
저를 더
most
잘
amicable
따랐거든요.
sibling. Must ask for... I have cause to believe that I may have misheard.
것이 맞소.
Still is, was it?
맞아요.
Yes.
저것이
That was... Sing's expression grew into a complicated mess of emotions as he looked to the ground, unable to speak further. It looks like they're holding some kind of meeting in there.
이제 저희도
We
들어가야
should probably join them. Looked to where Sinclair is pointing at and saw a line of fixers walking into what appeared to be a makeshift command tent. Yeah, we should. I might have to call it here.
해가 내 얼굴을 물끄러미 바라보고 있어.
Get there.
마찬가지.
Alright. Well, as always, folks, thank you for watching. In peace, I leave with you this day and always. Take care.